Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome everybody into the Hump Day Hotline on the Overreaction Sports Network, powered by Believe. So good to have every single one of you join us. My name is Joe Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired. That guy over there is my good friend Jay Spence the King. You can find him on Twitter at Jay Spence the King. Please do us a favor. Please like, please subscribe, please hump
No, come
hump
on, man. Like
that like.
it's week 3. Okay,
No, I was in it. Like, that's where I was going with it. Like, I was lining it up. Hump that like here, as we like to say on the Hump Day Hotline. Please subscribe, whatever platform you are consuming this live video on. Please subscribe. And if you're consuming this in post as a podcast, whether it's on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Amazon, or I don't even know, the bazillion versions of podcast platforms, which I don't know why there's so many, and I don't know why people go to the rogue random ones. I don't know what they offer that's different than maybe what Apple offers or Spotify. But anyway, which Pandora I don't think is doing. Is Pandora doing? Anyways, sorry, ADD. Please do us a favor. Please subscribe. Please share. Please tell a friend. It's so good to have every single one of you guys with us. We are excited to have a quick conversation just around what happened last week against the Steelers in exhibition game number 2. And then we're going to noodle around some quick topics, and we're going to talk briefly maybe about this week coming up, the Panthers game, even though there isn't really much to talk about because nobody's going to play in that football game. But anyway, Jay Spence the King, my man, this is your first opportunity to really have a conversation about that Steelers game. I've talked about it ad nauseum at this point. Post game, I was on for like an hour and 15 minutes with Pat Moran on Talking Buffalo yesterday. And then we did On the Beat, and like Jerry and I talked about it again. And then Mookie came on and we talked about it. So I'd love to know, you're off the top, just like what has resonated, what's stuck with you from that Steelers game.
I think obviously it's the same stuff, right? Everybody's talking about the same stuff. So I think the hometown hero story that we're witnessing, I think, is an amazing story to watch. I think that's good, and I'm rooting for him. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, it's tough you really couldn't get a handle on what the offense looked like. I think we need a backup quarterback. Oh. I really hate to be that guy, because I love Mitch.
We have a new one.
I love Mitch.
We got a new guy in town, Anthony Brown, who was with the Ravens last year.
And he's, from what I've seen of him and what I know of him, he's okay. Like, he's a good backup. But are you excited about that as an option? You know, like, when I say excited, obviously we understand if something ever happens to Josh, like, our season's done. Like, we get it.
Cooked, yeah. So I had the opportunity to ask Mookie Hawkins from WUFO Sports 1080 just about why Anthony Brown, right? So of all the guys that are out there, why did the Bills land on Anthony Brown? Mm-hmm. And there's a good follow-up question that Jerry asked after I asked this question, and Mookie answered it. And Mookie said, look, we need a guy in here that can run this system. We don't need a pocket passer. We need a guy that can actually run the football. And Anthony Brown is, what was he, 4.3, 5.40, like he's like sub 4.4 40. So the guy can run, he can throw, he can play football. So he's more accustomed to, or akin to, what the Bills are going to try to do with this offense, with Josh Allen as the primary quarterback. And then Jerry asked the perfect follow-up, which was, well, why didn't they go get Anthony Brown before they got Ben DiNucci? and Mookie didn't really have an answer for that one. I mean, the Bills are, God forbid something happens to Josh Allen, right? I mean, the Bills are, God forbid anything happens to anybody on this offense. There's something to be said for that defense and the patchwork that we've seen Sean McDermott and DC's do on this team in the past, where they've patchworked things. And we won 7 games in a row last year without Matt Milano. And we've had injuries in the past to Micah Hyde. We've had, Jordan Poyer injured and practically half of his body falling off at times, still playing football. The Bills have done a good job defensively, but if anybody goes down on that offensive line, if anybody goes down, running back is probably the only place where we can really sustain an injury. What's the drop off between Ray Davis, right, and James Cook, or Ray Davis and Ty Johnson? I don't even know. But from a backup quarterback, we'll see. My question at this point is, who's going to stick? So if Mitch Trubisky, is the backup when he's healthy. Are they going to keep DiNucci? Are they going to keep Anthony Brown? Are they going to keep Buechele? Like what is it? It almost feels like it's in flux, like the back.
Well, I feel like Saturday is going to determine that.
Right. Right.
Because like you said, there's not much to watch with the Panthers game. No starters are going to play.
No.
And it's basically whatever. How many spots this year do you think is up for grabs? Like 4, 5?
It's more than I thought. So we did a way too early roster projection before camp started. And offense was offense, right? So the wide receiver room was the big one that you weren't sure what was going to shake out. And now things are really, I mean, Chase Claypool's gone and he was a huge enigma. And then camp started to build and it was all Tyrell Shavers. And all of a sudden it was KJ Hamler. And then KJ Hamler muffed a punt and dropped a pass. And then Daquan Hardy goes into the Steelers game and is lights out, not only as, returning. Yeah, I know he ran into his own end zone, but he came out too. So we don't do that and we'll be okay. Just run forward. But he, so you almost wonder if he pushed KJ Hamler off this roster. I actually, getting to that as far as how many spots are open, my surprise was that the Bills would keep only 2 tight ends to afford them the opportunity to keep somebody else in a much more needed position group, potentially wide receiver, which meant that Quentin Morris, in my early projection, was not on this football team. Then they would keep Zach Davidson on the practice squad.
Right.
Well, now Quentin Morris is injured, right? Which it was originally reported an upper body injury. Now it's a lower body injury as of Tuesday. Who knows what's happening? But the defense is where it was originally. I don't know who makes this football team, and now it's starting to kind of shake out. But there are some bubble guys, and then Joe Andreessen loses his mind on Saturday, and all of a sudden, does Morrow not make this football team? Right. I mean, it's so same question. I mean, is there 4 spots open? Do you see 6 spots? Do you think it's locked in? Like they know what they want to do?
I don't know. And you know what is interesting? Because when you started talking about like the tight end room, see, I actually think that's a space where they're trying to find a extra roster spot to keep more. Because I think like you look at what I feel like they've been trying to do for the last 3 years, what was the tight end that used to be like really good and athletic, and then we signed him and it just didn't work out. Then he went and signed with the Texans and got cut.
OJ Howard.
So it's like back then they were trying to do the Howard and Knox thing. They wanted to have 2 tight ends, and then
well, they had that. They had that with obviously Knox and Dalton Kincaid.
Well, right. But what I'm saying is like now when you have a Kincaid type player who's really, he's the tight end, but he's a wide receiver.
You're right.
So
you're right.
I feel like they're still gonna try and utilize like another big body tight end, kind of how they've been trying to do. So I think we're going to see an extra tight end. I don't think it's going to be shorter, but to the original point of the conversation is what, like you said, 4 or 5 spots. And if that's the case, I think special teams is a big one. Like you mentioned, I think RB3, like that third or, like that back, that tail end running back, because it's a special teams player as well considered. And so you're looking at those things, but I really couldn't even get a good handle on the defense over the weekend because I know the defense looked good. They didn't score a lot.
They looked really good. They looked really good. Yeah.
Well, without at risk of sounding like a Debbie Downer or just like a negative, I'm not trying to do that. I really think that the Pittsburgh Steelers have problems on offense. So I just find it a little difficult to. I'm not saying that they didn't play well. I think the defense played well.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's not a game that I can watch and say, okay, yeah, I think we're ready for the season. Just because I don't think we're going to get that type of competition, when the season starts.
This might be the first season that Mike Tomlin does not win 9 games, right? So this might be the year. But for me, it was more about on an individual basis. I loved what I saw out of Daquan Hardy, even as a corner.
Groot.
I loved what I saw. Groot, obviously, 2.5 sacks in whatever he played, 1 quarter or something like that, or 3 series, or I don't even remember what it was. I'd like AJ Epinesa to show up at some point, which won't be this weekend because he won't be playing. I liked what I saw overall, and it was more about the effort, the response that they gave to McDermott, kind of calling them out for, the pride that we have when I love the quote, put these colors on, and they put the colors on, and that defense showed up. And then there was just I mean, Joe Andreessen took that football game over, and I don't mean like he was dominant and was Ray Lewis. I mean,
No, but he did. He did.
all eyes were on Joe Andreessen. Even the national media was tweeting about it, like, what is happening and who is this kid? A guy that going into that football game, the question was being asked, is he going to see any playing time? Lo and behold, he starts, plays for 3 or 3.5 quarters, plays the Mike position, and was everywhere. And that the one we've talked about, I've talked about it a bunch. The one tackle he made on the Pittsburgh running back where he sheds a starting offensive lineman, rolls out to the flat, gets a hold, takes a stiff arm to the face, and still brings the running back down. There's veteran linebackers in the NFL that can't make that play, and Joe Andreessen is like, I got this.
It's a phenomenal story. Like, it's just one of those,
yeah.
And I know every year I feel like Bills Mafia falls in love with somebody. I feel like typically it's a wide receiver, but this year, this story I'm for. I'm rooting for him to make the roster. I think that if he does, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. But I'm rooting for him. It's a good story. I just think overall,
it's the next Disney movie, right? Invincible, Vince Papale. This is the next one.
Yep, it is. And hey, what could be better? Also, have that be the same year we possibly win a Super Bowl or something. I would go for that. Like, give me that.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah,
give me that. But the one thing that did concern me just overall, and I know because I kind of put some stuff out, I tweeted something and got some bad reactions from it. I think I was misunderstood, and that's okay because that happens, and everybody is you can have your opinions. But my question was, it's really a question. I got concerned looking at the injury report before the game. I got concerned the other day. I think Sal tweeted out,
it's longer now than it was before the game.
And so it's like, now it's like, okay, you're looking at this injury report. And so the question that I had was, like a couple years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, part of the pitch to get free agents in Buffalo was, hey, we got the best facilities out here. We have one of the best training staffs out here. They were winning awards like 2-3 years in a row. They won awards. The last 2.5 seasons, so now I'm including this year now. So 3 seasons going into the season, it's not the same. I'm not saying that our training staff is bad. They need to be fired. I'm not blaming injuries on training staff. What I'm saying is something is different. My question is it the players? Really, I don't even know what the question is, but because it's just like, what's different about this whole thing? It's concerning and I know luck, it's bad luck, but at the same time, man, some things can be prevented. A lot of these soft tissue injuries, Matt Milano's injury, no, you tackling the bag, it was a freak accident.
Well, it actually was. So that's funny that you say that one in particular. I was talking to, we've got, so on the Jerry O show, on the Big O show on Thursdays when the season starts, we're going to be bringing in Dr. Brad Bowen, who is an orthopedic doctor of physical therapy. And we started having conversations just to get ramped up for the season. You know what all this is about. Like, you don't want to bring somebody on the first time and be like, congratulations, you're going to come in cold. So we've actually kind of been talking to him, and he was actually talking about the Matt Milano injury. And, that's what I've always said too, since it happened, is like, well, this seems like a freak injury. And he said, it's actually not a freak injury. He said the way that his arm was extended, he goes, if you watch the video back and the way that he hit the bag, he said there was no place for the pressure to go, like for his body to like receive the hit from it. He goes, it's a natural thing that's exactly what would happen. His bicep would rupture. It's like, oh, okay, moving on. Right. So which was interesting. But there's other ones different. But there's other ones to your point, right? So there's, it's a laundry list of injuries. And the only thing that I could potentially say is it feels like this staff, for some reason, Sean McDermott, and it speaks to even this weekend coming up on Saturday, is way more precautionary than they've ever been for some reason. Yeah. So like Mookie Hawkins on the beat when we had him on Tuesday, he was talking about like several of these guys. Like if something happens, if you tweak something and you tell a trainer in a preseason game, they pull you out immediately. They pull you out of practice immediately. I can't remember which. I think it was Solomon had a calf. He said Solomon had a calf, and they pulled him out. He goes, and then he's running off the field at the end of the game. And it's like, well, apparently he's not too hurt if he's running off the field still in his equipment. So I think what you're I think a lot of us feel or see or sense or what I've actually had people in like DM me like, what's going on with all these injuries in this training staff, and to which I respond, I don't know, right? I don't have anything. It feels like there's a lot of injuries. Feels like there's a lot of injuries around the league. It just also feels like the Bills are just being way more. And I'm not talking about Cole Bishop, and I'm not talking about some of these other ones that are MVS with a sprained neck. I'm not talking about those things. It just feels like the Bills are being overly cautious all the way through training camp, to the point of Josh Allen's not going to play because he didn't get a proper warm up and it rained. Neither is Dalton Kincaid, Terrell Bernard, like none of the starters on this past Saturday against the Steelers. And coming into this week, none of the starters are playing, which is always a fun line to draw. Well, who are the starters? Is Dorian Williams going to play? Because Matt Milano's the starting will linebacker, but Dorian Williams is going to start. But so I don't have an answer for you. I saw your tweet. I didn't really think boo about it. Like I didn't take it in a negative connotation at all. So the fact that other people did is interesting.
Well, and like I said, it's okay because I understand it asking the question is, I guess, in a way, questioning, the results of the department's job. So I guess in a way I was asking that, but
that's the world we live in especially in professional sports and football. When you don't have a result you like, you make a change.
And it's not because I could have asked this after Trey White's second injury.
Yeah,
I didn't ask this last year.
His Achilles, yeah.
That wasn't a question that was asked last year. But it's like when you look at this list now before the season starts, there were a couple seasons where it was like, man, this feels good. We're going into the season like really full strength. It's like looking really good. Like we had, really, like if we had like 2 injuries going into the season, it was like, okay, now it's like, man, we really gonna be without a starting unit on a basketball team.
Yeah, it's definitely strange, and I don't know that I have an answer for it. It'll be interesting to see whatever, because like Curtis Samuel's another one to me. That's a big one. It's a big one, but is it a big one, or is it precautionary? It's a toe, is what Coach said on Monday, right? Curtis Samuel has a toe, but going into this game, like he didn't participate in the joint practice with Pittsburgh, and then he didn't play in that football game, and then on Monday he's got a toe. Well, where was the toe before Saturday? Like it wasn't even on the report. So what?
True.
Is it precautionary? Are they worried? Like, has he got a little soreness in his toe?
I hope.
Right.
I'm telling you, I hope that's all it is. Because Curtis Samuel he's a huge part of the plan. And
yeah.
And I know the first game and Josh had a completion to him. It was only one play that we got to see it, but that John Brown screenplay where he takes it right at the line and runs for 12 yards. You're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see a lot of the old Isaiah McKenzie little gadget plays and a lot of the handoffs. And it's a bit, if he's really in the turf toe and stuff like that, those injuries concern me. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Those are the type of injuries that, he can still play.
Yep.
But he's not going to be as explosive when he tries to get off the line, or he's not going to have the same type of explosiveness when he tries to cut in a certain direction off that one toe or whatever it might be. And so even if it only minimizes his effectiveness by this much, it's still, and we saw it with Gabe. We saw it with Gabe Davidson. That's what concerns me.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. And getting back to it being a draw, I don't know that it necessarily has changed there. I think it was just a marketing thing. I think the times that we saw when the Pagulas made the change, Kim was really involved, new training facility, new sports stuff, all that stuff, and like they were trying to attract free agents, and now 17 does that. I think it's just more of instead of why'd you come to Buffalo? Oh, the training facilities are amazing here. Now it's like to play with that guy.
We got Josh.
I want to play with that guy.
We got
right. Yeah, they could have cannonballs on chains out there for us to use to lift. I don't care as long as I get to play with that guy. So I think I don't know that I have an answer. Right. So, but it's unfortunate that people take things negative, but looking forward to this weekend as far as against the Buffalo Bills play at home against the Carolina Panthers, of which I have 2 tickets that I probably can't get rid of because Sean McDermott said on Monday that no starters will play. Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Love you, buddy. What are you going to be watching for? What are you going to be paying attention to? Where are you going to watch this game? Where are your eyes going to? For me, it's all Joe Andreessen all day long. Like, to me, it's Joe Andreessen and Daquan Hardy. That's what I'm watching in this football game.
I'm gonna watch it, but real quick, I just want to say, so you know how mad I would have been if I was one of those fans that drove from Buffalo to Pittsburgh over the weekend, thinking that Josh Allen was gonna play at least the first half or like the full first quarter or something like that.
It was supposed to be a half. It's supposed to be the first half, I think.
Dude, I would have been so pissed off. But anyway, but
I was pissed off. I popped it on at 7:00. I'm like, I can't wait to watch Josh Allen. Wait, what? That ain't Josh Allen.
Dude, I just couldn't imagine taking that drive because I know Pittsburgh is close enough to where the way Bill's Mafia is, a lot of us took that drive. I'm telling you, I would have been.
What I want to know, I want somebody to solve the mystery of now in the quarterback for Buffalo, Mitch Trubisky, and the boos. Were they booing Mitch Trubisky, or are they booing because Josh Allen? Like I think
it was Mitch.
Yeah, but even for Steeler fans, we all do this. I can't wait for the Bills to play Kansas City and Buffalo again so that I can see Pat Mahomes play football, right? I mean, we want to see these guys too. And if the Chiefs come to Buffalo,
but I think it was Mitch, man. You know,
it probably was.
You know, Pittsburgh's fan base is a lot like our fan base when it comes to like, you know, and he just didn't perform well. He didn't perform well. So no, I think it was Mitch.
He has not performed well in a long time, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah,
but anyways,
back to your question. Back to your question. It's,
where your eyes going to be focused?
For me, I'm just looking at the guys. Like, I want to see the guys really trying to make this team.
Yeah,
you know. So like we said, there's obviously only a few spots. I want to see guys going out there putting the best tape that they feel they can ever put out. Because a lot of these guys, this is the last time they'll probably suit up.
Yep,
this is the last time. I want to see, you know. Is it the hometown hero? Is it somebody? But I want to see somebody surprise us and make this roster because they had a phenomenal showing of effort, hustle. They're smart. They're coachable. I want to see the surprise. That's what I'm looking forward to because there's nothing else to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to just wide receivers, safeties, linebackers, right? Is kind of where all the attention is going to be. Is Keon Coleman going to play? Is Keon Coleman a starter? Because
he's absolutely not playing.
Are you sure? Then who is? Because Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir, Matt Collins, those are the starters at wide receiver for this football team. Samuel's injured. Shakir's not playing. Matt Collins isn't playing. So is Coleman a starter? I don't know that he is.
He's a starter. He's not playing.
And MVS is not going to play in this football game. So now you're getting thin at wide receiver. It's going to
but I'm sure they have some and I always hate this term, but I'm sure they got some camp bodies that, you know, are looking to try to make a practice squad somewhere.
Damiere Byrd is one of the guys that they just brought in. Obviously Hamler and Shavers and Shorter but how many passes are they going to throw in this football game? They're going to throw 20 between the two quarterbacks.
But no, now that is something to watch because, you know, Mitch is not healthy. Obviously, we don't know how long he's gonna be out with his injury. So who will be the backup quarterback? So no, that is something to watch. Who performs the best under these circumstances with this team? Yeah, you know, this would be something to watch.
So Mitch Trubisky, it was reported on Tuesday by Alex Brasky from the Batavia Daily News. He said that Mitch was walking around practice with a wrap on his knee and was unwilling to flex it, so bend it at all. You've had a knee surgery. I've had a knee surgery, different ones. I had medial meniscus. You had a full-on reconstruction,
like all of it.
I believe. Yeah, full-on reconstruction. Yeah, doesn't sound great.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Even with 3 weeks to go.
Now, my question here is about the quarterback situation. I understand what Mookie said about getting a mobile guy, but why wouldn't you really just go out and get the cheapest but best option at quarterback that's available?
Who is?
You know what I'm saying?
Like, who is that? Isn't that Ben DiNucci?
You think that? I don't know who's out there, but I'm just saying, like, when you're bringing in names that like really nobody. I'm just these aren't the best. It can't be. I don't think I know Ryan Tannehill was out there. He's not the best option, so I'm not saying sign Ryan Tannehill.
Well, Ryan Tannehill is
a former starting quarterback.
But
why wouldn't you sign?
He's also going to cost probably $8 to $10 million, like as a backup.
You think so at this point?
Oh, as a backup, yes. Ryan Tannehill is the guy. Ryan Tannehill is the guy that when a team in the NFL whichever one it is, loses their starter, they're going to go get if he's not on the team, they're going to get that guy off the bench or off the couch and pay him $10 million to come play football.
And see, now that perspective is absolutely correct. But see, that's how I used to view that's how I wanted to view Mitch before. You know, former number 1 overall pick, all this stuff. So that's how I viewed Mitch. I just feel like some guys you have to accept your fate at a certain point that you're now a backup. And I just think Ryan Tannehill has been giving starting opportunities, and he's proven that he's not a starting caliber quarterback. So
100%.
I just don't. But you're probably absolutely right. Like that's probably exactly what's going to happen. But I just don't see why, because he's not like he's a backup.
I'm trying to find it. I had a list of the several guys that were available, and I'm not able to. It's a bunch of names of guys we don't know. Like literally, the Bills pulled Anthony Brown, and Anthony Brown I don't think was on the original list of dudes that were available last week when they pulled Ben DiNucci. Because last week the conversation was, why Ben DiNucci? Ben DiNucci was one of the names on that list. I'm looking at Ryan Talbot's tweets from.
I don't know when this article was. I'm assuming that it's current. Has Ryan Tannehill, Trevor Siemian, Blaine Gabbert, AJ McCarron, Brian Hoyer, and Kellen Mond.
Yeah, those are the names. And Ben DiNucci was on that list last week, and now he's a Buffalo Bill. But Anthony Brown was not on that list, and Anthony Brown is now a Buffalo Bill. But of those, I mean, what, Trevor Siemian?
I would take Trevor Siemian. I've seen plays that he's not a franchise guy, like obviously, but I've seen him win some games. I've seen him play in big moments.
Yeah.
I would take a quarterback that started in this league. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand the moves that have to be made, and it's kind of like, and we're crunched for money. I get it. Like the Diggs thing really screwed us. A bunch of things really screwed us. I get that. But yeah, no, I don't understand. But I'm not Brandon Beane. I'm not a GM or podcaster.
Did you hear that? Well, let's end the show on Josh Allen. 2 things about Josh Allen. Did you hear the stray that Josh caught from the Texans color guy?
Yeah.
What do you watch football?
Like he obviously, and
I'm not even sure Josh Allen's making that throw.
You know who that was?
I don't.
It was David Carr.
Is that who that was?
David Carr said that.
I did not know that was David Carr.
So that's even worse.
That is even worse because he's an NFL Network guy, analyst guy. Like
Josh Allen literally ranked 1 and 2 in every metric over the middle of the field from 1 to 5 yards.
Yeah, I'm not even sure Josh Allen's making that throw to Diggs. It's like
okay, I get it. I love CJ Stroud too. Let me say this. I love CJ Stroud. I do. I think CJ Stroud he's going to be an absolute superstar. Relax. Let's relax. Okay. Like I get it.
I haven't seen a situation in the NFL, and this is totally this is even something we probably should be talking about, but like I've never seen a situation where you've got such a likable guy that's so amazingly talented that people just want to bash Josh Allen. Like, why do people want to bash him so bad? Like, why is it the cool thing to do? I got a negative take about Josh Allen. Ready for it? Like, why is that what people
I think
do?
It's because of Bills Mafia. I think, we give people attention. We give people views. We give people. So even if it's bad, they're still getting those views up because people are going to watch whatever show to hear you say it, and then they're chiming in. So I just think that we're a passionate fan base, and we bring numbers. Like we drive numbers. When Nick Wright did it, he's been doing it now for 4 years.
They're gonna make him the face of Fox Sports for doing it, but right?
Good for him though. Good for him though, because there's nobody else over there that I would consider the face.
Can you name another person at Fox Sports?
Sean McCoy with those terrible takes.
Oh, LaShawn, that's right. LaShawn's there. So obviously LaShawn's there along with Emmanuel Ako, H-O. Yeah, so there are some guys.
You just named 2 people with horrible takes.
Yeah.
Like consistently horrible.
Horrible. Well, Emmanuel is just, it's which way is the wind blowing?
He's
right now. Like
Shady's good with some things. I just feel like Shady allows his feelings to get involved too much.
For sure.
But no, Shady's not. He doesn't have bad takes. He gets in this like Dak. It's a terrible take. Dak is a good quarterback.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shady just keeps crapping on him, and I don't get it. I don't get it.
For sure. Shade, yeah, it is weird that Nick Wright is allowed to not be objective and be a Kansas City Chiefs fanboy, but everybody else has to be objective. Anyway, sorry. And then last thing before we get out of here, Josh Allen. So Josh Allen in his press conference on Tuesday, they asked him about his contract. John Warrow asked him about his contract situation and kind of where he was. Did you catch that interview by chance?
I didn't. So this is good.
Yeah, so it's obviously everybody knows Josh Allen is the 13th highest paid NFL quarterback, and he's way 10 spots at least, if not 11 better than that. I think all value or annual value, he's 11th. And he was just asked just about his contract. Is he concerned, bothered? Where are you at on this whole situation? And he actually took it kind of in stride. He goes, you know what? I had my day. A couple of years ago, I had my day. And in a couple of years, I'll probably have another day. But right now, those other guys are having their day. And it just kind of is the way things go. Unlike Tyreek Hill, who's like, wait a minute, how much did that guy get paid? I need more money. I'm not the highest paid wide receiver anymore. I need more money. And he got it. So just one more situation that Josh is Buffalo. He's just one of us. Did you see him at come out of the Benny the Butcher, the concert when he surprised the crowd?
Yeah.
The crowd's response to him. It's just, it's mind blowing how much people love him. Like we've
waited so long, man. We've waited so long for that.
Yeah. But there's just a genuine, he's just a big kid. And I think that's what everybody.
And I mean, and we've been blessed in Buffalo. Like, obviously we haven't won, but like we have fits, we've had good people come through at the quarterback position that we could fall in love with. But this guy's different, man. Josh is just like, I really don't think I can love a dude more. Like, I just love this dude. I don't like.
Right.
I don't know.
yeah, right there with you. So it was just a very kind of cool response from him. He just kind of took it like, but whatever. He'll probably get re-upped before it's time, right? So what does he got? I think he's got 4 years. He's got 4 years left. He's got 4 years left on his contract or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure at some point in time they'll give him more money for just because he deserves it. But
and the thing is, like he said, I agree with him, and I know we got to go, but it's the way things go. Like right now, if you look at it, and I don't want to say this to sound mean, but if you look at it, it's really the second tier guys getting paid. Mm-hmm. So the second tier guys are resetting the market just because the cap continues to go up. The TV deal is what it is. So when it rolls back around, really for Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, man, you might see really in 3 years, we might see a $75 million per year deal for Patrick Mahomes.
And then Kirk Cousins is going to get 75 a year. It's like, wait.
So it just is what it is. It's the sport, man. I should have never got out of shape when I was a kid, and I should have kept playing sports. And it's insane when you look at these contracts. It's insane.
That's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into the Hump Day Hotline on the Overreaction Sports Network, powered by Believe. So good to have every single one of you guys join us. Please hump that like before you go. Please subscribe to whatever platform you are watching. But for me, for Jay Spence the King, for all of us here at the Overreaction Sports Network, we appreciate you guys. Love you. Talk to you soon. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.